Man, this video is getting up late. I apologize for that, but the summer movie season ain't stopping anytime soon, so let's talk about X-Men. And I'm gonna do something a little bit different than what I usually do for my videos. Boom, spoiler alert. Yeah, I usually do spoiler alerts for older movies, or if I'll do a separate spoiler talk video, but rarely for new movies. But I figured by this time, if you want to see X-Men, you've already seen it, and by the drop it took in the box office last weekend, it's like, yeah, you've seen it if you want to, so spoilers. So X-Men Apocalypse is the sequel to Days of Futures Past. That was my favorite movie of 2014, so I was pretty excited for X-Men Apocalypse. And the trailers weren't really wowing me with this movie or anything. It did look a little artificial at times. But still, I'm like, it's X-Men. It's the characters from First Class and Days of Futures Past. You got McAvoy, you got Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult. They're all coming back for this one. And they're all battling Apocalypse. He's the first mutant ever from ancient Egypt. Now he's come back, awakened from his sleep, gathered up his 4 horsemen, and he's here to wreak havoc. No pun intended. Now, one thing that I really liked about this movie, James McAvoy. I feel like with this First Class trilogy, Fassbender usually gets all the attention, and rightfully so. I mean, Fassbender's great as Magneto, and he's great in this movie. But McAvoy is becoming like the Patrick Stewart Xavier. He loses his hair in this movie, but before then, for instance, at the very beginning, Havoc, who is Scott Summers, Cyclops' older brother, he takes Scott to the X-Mansion where he meets Charles, and Charles is all like, "Hi Scott, welcome, nice to meet you. Yeah, I know your powers can be crazy. I can teach you how to hone those powers." And he's like that sensitive, wise professor that we knew Patrick Stewart to be in the first 3 movies. And McAvoy did exhibit some of that in First Class when he's talking to Magneto, and he's all like, "Yeah, it's a balance between rage and serenity." And like I said, I thought Fassbender was great as Magneto too. There are parts in this movie, like when the movie first starts out, Magneto wasn't where I thought he was going to be. He does go into hiding at the end of Days of Futures Past, but I wasn't expecting him to be living in Poland or wherever he was with having his own family. And it was kind of nice to see the fact that they settled down, but then you get to the forest scene. Again, spoilers. And the forest scene, that's where Magneto loses his family. And I thought that was pretty effective. The little girl's freaking out before they have the talk, and she's all, "They're not going to take you from me, are they, Daddy?" And Magneto's like, "No, of course they're not." It's all this chaos, all this commotion, and then this guard lets an arrow slip. It goes flying right into Magneto's wife and daughter. Which my only complaint about that scene is look at the shot with the guy when he has the arrow. When he lets go, he has the most cartoonish face on him. It's like he needed the Tim Allen voice behind him, just like the... You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The home improvement thing. All the other parts of that scene were good. It's just that it frustrates me. And this movie also introduces a lot of new characters to the X-Men universe. Well, new in this new timeline, like Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Storm, and Nightcrawler, who was great in this movie. He's got an accent again, and I feel like they're trying to go really comic accurate with these things. At the end of the movie, all the new X-Men, they get their costumes, and Storm has an accent too, and those little nods are nice to see. Jubilee's in the movie. She doesn't do anything, but she's in the movie, and that's also where some of my issues lie with the movie. There's a lot of characters in this movie, and not all of them get moments to shine. A good amount of them do, though. I thought Jean and Cyclops were really good. Storm has a couple of moments, but I've never really been much of a big Storm fan, so it didn't really bother me. Angel, he had the cool fight scene with Nightcrawler at the beginning, and that one scene where he was rocking out to Metallica's 4 Horsemen. But after that, he kind of gets the shaft, and Psylocke did nothing. I was really nervous about Olivia Munn as Psylocke in this movie, and apparently Bryan Singer was too, because it looked like they edited around her almost. And granted, I don't really read the comics, and I didn't watch the X-Men TV show, sorry, I was a little too late for that. So I don't really know what Psylocke's like or even what her powers are. She has a big purple sword like the one from Smash Bros. And then what after that? I don't know. So I would have liked to have seen more Psylocke. But obviously the big horseman, the one that gets the most screen time, was Magneto. He had an arc in this movie, and that was good to see. And they brought Evan Peters as Quicksilver back, and I really, really liked him in this movie. He has an arc where he knows Magneto's his father, and he's like, should I tell him? Should I not? And it was kind of weird at the end because I thought it was going to be this big emotional thing when him and Mystique, they go to Magneto, who's terraforming the Earth pretty much. And Magneto's all mad. He's like, "Oh, I lost my family. There's nothing left for me." And I thought Quicksilver was going to say "Hey, I'm your son." And he just goes, "I'm here for my family too." Which I guess it kind of gets the point across, but Magneto didn't know that. But Quicksilver is given more to do in this movie, and his scene, the Sweet Dream scene, I thought was great. Except for the fact, and this is kind of a problem with a couple other areas in this movie, is that most of the Quicksilver scenes is that it jumps in tone really quickly. Right before then, Apocalypse comes to the X-Mansion, they kidnap Charles, Havoc tries to blow him up, and then Havoc ends up dying through a big explosion. And then right after that, it cuts to Quicksilver, and he's doing his Sweet Dream scene, which was, yeah, again, really good. But again, in the back of my head, as he's rushing a dog with pizza in his mouth outside of the X-Mansion, I'm just like, I want to laugh, but Havoc just died. So am I supposed to feel bad? Is this supposed to be a funny scene? Is it an ironic thing? And then right after that scene is when Cyclops finds out that Havoc died, and so he's all torn up about it. So again, it jumps right back to the somber tone. That was a little weird, and I wasn't a big fan of that. And I really don't want to say this, but reality of the situation was Jennifer Lawrence in this movie. I know she was under a contract, but it's just, that wasn't Mystique. What is interesting about her character is the fact that with Days of Futures Past, she's now viewed as a hero, not a villain, because she saved the president from Magneto in the eyes of the public. And so she's got that whole I'm not a hero thing going on. Whenever she's saying those lines, I don't see Mystique. I see Katniss, and not even like Catching Fire Katniss. I see Mockingjay Part 2, Jennifer Lawrence sleepwalking through the movie Katniss. Just kind of frustrating to watch. I know the makeup process takes a long time, but you could have been in blue makeup for a little bit longer. Whatever happened to Mutant and Proud? They make a joke in this movie where the younger mutants, they all go to see Return of the Jedi in theaters, and they take a dig at, oh, the third movie in the trilogy is always the worst. And I'm sure that was supposed to be a dig at Brett Ratner and X-Men 3, but it holds true here, so that's really awkward. I would call X-Men Apocalypse the worst good X-Men movie. Like, I still enjoy it, however, it's not as good as X-Men 1, X-Men 2, First Class, Days of Futures Past, even the Wolverine I like a little bit more. Deadpool's better as well, but it's kind of hard to count Deadpool in this universe, even though he technically does exist in it, but it's like its own separate thing. This movie's way better than X-Men 3 and X-Men Origins, though. I can tell you that much. So it's a really mixed bag, but I would say that I still enjoyed X-Men Apocalypse. So if you haven't seen it, even though I spoiled most of the movie for you, you should go check it out anyways. So there was a lot of New Mutants in this movie. Which one was your guys' favorite? I really liked Sophie Turner as Jean Grey, especially at the end. Phoenix Saga? Whoever your favorite New Mutant was, comment down below, let me know who that was, and thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, you can click subscribe, check out some of my other stuff, and I'll catch you guys next time.